Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome back to another one of my weekly live streams. Um, I've actually missed a couple of streams in the past couple of weeks because of the Christmas holiday, and I think I've been sick once, stuff like that. But that's all over now. So, oh, hold on, let me just switch off sound on that one real quick. Um, and I should be resuming my regular stream schedule from now on, so you can expect a weekly dev stream from this point onward. It's really awkward to get to my own stream on the Twitch app. That is so weird. There we go. Let's see. Today we are going to be working on design mainly. As soon as I reboot my Wacom driver, I just noticed that it, as it tends to do, crashed right as I was starting to get back into it after lunch. It's a daily struggle, really. This morning I've been working on some more screens for the takedown screen. So we've established a seed now wherein a lot of things are going to be tied in with a certain mythology. And so now we're kind of going through the game and taking all these things that we've designed separately and tying them all into that one seed, that one core idea. That seed for dashing dodgems is that the reason that you are driving around fighting other people. I'll just show some gameplay in the background while I oh, sorry. I have a package coming in. I'll be right back. And we're back. Sorry about that, folks. My girlfriend bought me a new bike for my birthday, and obviously, it gets delivered right as I start my my stream, and I had to go and pick it up and adjust the settings a bit, stuff like that. So it took a bit longer than expected, but hey, I'm back now. What was I talking about? Yeah, so about these gods, right? Whew, gotta catch my breath. Ran up 3 stairs. Let me just grab a controller real quick and start driving around the game here while I explain a couple of things to you. Oh, I think this. Oh yeah, the menu is in a different state right now. Like the menus you can see right here, because we're switching to or have switched to rewired, a different input method. But so yeah, in our game, you drive around funky little bumper cars like that one. Oh, this is broken because of rewired 2, probably. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's a problem. Oh shit, I can't do any gameplay right now because of rewired. We'll just stick to Photoshop for now then. But in our game, basically you drive around in little bumper cars and you hit other people, you knock them into the water, and then the last man standing or the last person standing wins, kind of like a elimination game type. And we have a bunch of zany characters who you know, who control these cars, or that the player can control, and we were having a bit of trouble with kind of determining like what brings these people into this arena, right? And how did they arrive here, and how did they leave, and what's the loop there? And that's when we came up with the idea of these gods, this collection of super powerful entities that kind of throw you together in a gladiator style battle, and that's basically it. I mean, and then we have a lot of mechanics that kind of that felt loose. Like there's a mechanic in the game where, if I go to one of the other scenes, I can show you guys. So this is our main arena right now, our main level, the one that we use for event builds and stuff. And it's made up of out of these blocks, right? Like this one, which is also a very convenient way to build levels, because we have a little level editor here called Cakescape that allows us to really quickly, you know, put these levels together using these blocks. And they get destroyed from time to time as you play. A block might fall down. I might be able to play right from here, by the way, without going through the loading screen. I hope I put debug mode on. But that just kind of happened. You guys might have seen the GIF that I showed on Twitter. That showed the effect that we have for one of those blocks falling down, which is basically just like the particles and an animation. But there's no real reason why that's happening in that way, right? There's no real, like, why would it just randomly start breaking down? So that's what I'm going to be looking at today, is kind of seeing like how can I tie that in with this idea of those gods, and maybe the gods will be the ones who destroy those tiles, and maybe we'll have players after they've died, and that's the sketches that you saw in Photoshop right here. You know, because right now when you get taken down, I can actually just show you by driving off the water's edge. If you get taken down, fall into the water, and you get this This one usually has a cooldown, but Lance is messing around with the UI. But just get this taken down notification, right? And just doesn't really, fit in with the rest of the game. So now it might be that as you get taken down, you sink down, that a giant hand comes up and scoops. The gods get impatient. And scoops you out of the water, and they say you are now a tribute to the gods, or we might tie it in with the join scene where if you get taken down, you just kind of sink down, and you just end up back here, which is our new spawn scene. So you just come sinking down, and then that kind of sets us up for the game loop. And then there's other ideas for just having you interact with those gods in some way. Maybe you get judged, or you see the pantheon of gods, or something like that. These are a bit dark, though. They're a bit. I was talking to Lance about it, and they're a bit Lovecraftian, a bit horror-like, and the game is very colorful and bright. So we kind of have to find and fine-tune the idea there, but it sets us up for a nicer cycle. What I want to start working on now, not on these new characters. Spoilers for new Dashing Dodgems characters, because we're going to expand from 4 to 8 characters. So I'm doing some quick sketches whenever I get bored with what I'm doing. I just switch to that file and sketch out a little character, because it's easy to do. And yeah, so what I want to do now is kind of come up with ideas for the tile syncing. And we've discussed internally ideas for this before, where I don't want this to be that quite that big. Wherein it might be a weapon that one of the gods uses, which is why they all have something of a melee weapon, or this guy can use his feet, or this guy might just use his square body. It's kind of so that might be a nice idea to do. I see that Photoshop has decided to not give me pressure sensitivity today, probably because I had to reset the driver. So I'll reboot Photoshop real quick. My daily struggle with Wacom drivers in Photoshop is it's getting unreal. Like, I wish there was an alternative that it's a different folder, that would allow me to not use Wacom products and Photoshop, but let's see, syncing concepts. But after using Photoshop and Wacom for so long, I've gotten really fast with using this combination. I mean, even including the time it takes me to reboot software and reboot drivers, it's still a lot faster. I tried out I tried out Paint Tool Sai once or twice, and Coral Draw or Coral Painter. And they're nice. I mean, they Paint Tool Sai definitely has a better line smoothing engine, and Coral Painter has a much better color blending engine, or brush blending engine than Photoshop does. But just the sheer fact that I have to relearn what is by now, I think, about 14-15 years of shortcuts, right? That throws me off. And you can actually set in Paint Tool Sai the shortcuts to be very similar to what Photoshop has it, but it's just not worth the trouble for me. I'll just stick to this horrible combination. So yeah, tile syncing. What I usually do is just do the same as when I do VFX. So I'll just open a blank document and maybe do like a little storyboard type thing where I just want to set up the steps that I have to design. Come on. So first is we have to have a what do you call it? Foreshadow, right? We have to telegraph to the player that that tile is at some point going to be destroyed. So to tie this in with the gods, which I also want to have open so I can refer to them from time to time, I gave each one of these gods a rune in their initial design. So they each have their own little symbol, right? So this guy has this weird triangle with a opposed check mark type thing in it and then a circle above it. This guy has the diamond with a circle in the middle. This guy has a weird swirl, and you know, you can see the symbols in each one. And I might just do that whichever god is controlling this level, that's the one who breaks the tile. So we'll match levels with gods maybe, and then you know in level 1 it might be that you know the head god is the one who destroys the tiles, and it's references to that one that you can see throughout the level, and then in another level we might do another god, something like that. Or we might just use them interchangeably, I don't know. So first we have the foreshadow. Then we need a effect that demonstrates kind of like a countdown, let's call it that, so that the player can reasonably estimate, you know, how fast, how long he or she has until they have to drive off the tile, right? So right now there's a kind of like an animation of 3 of these blocks of volcanic stone coming up, and then you know you can obviously see when it's at it's at its highest. You know, that's when it's time to get the hell off that tile. I'm not sure what I want to do for a rune like this though, because it also has to be very visible when there's buildings and props and stuff on top of that tile. So I might just have the rune glow and burn more intensely, just like a fissure coming out. So it gets stamped in and then goes up, starts glowing more intensely, lots and lots of particles. Maybe we'll have, and I did some stuff with cracks before and it looked really shitty on the tiles, but maybe we'll have some glowing. The tile doesn't actually break down though, just kind of, maybe I just need like an effect only at the borders, like it's being sawn out by this mythical force. Might be interesting. Hold on, I'll show you something real quick. So that's our countdown. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then the actual moment it breaks, that all fades away. So we have the break. And it's just dust. Instead of, so the glowing stuff dissipates, and you just see some dust being thrown up. And then we have the sink, right? And we kind of have this wobbly, like it goes down with some shake and stuff. What I saw during playtests is that people sometimes still find themselves on that on the tile while it sinks, or you might, you know, come driving in right as it falls down, and it kind of feels bad, man. So I might do that it like from a side view, that it does that first, so you can still drive off if you're fast enough. So we kind of do a half sink. And then after that we do the actual sink. And I might just have it continue on in that same angle, like it just falls down and then just falls down with you as you sink. So if this is like the top, right? If there's a pattern on it like that, then this would be the top. And you'd see the side of the tile here. That might work. It's not half bad for a first sketch. Let's do another one. Let's do something else. I'm going to copy these steps, because those steps are going to be the same regardless, and we're just going to swap out the visuals. And I know that some of you might look at this and be like, oh, why didn't you just put the frames on a separate layer, and then, you know, now you have to redraw that frame. But I notice that it kind of helps for these type of sketches to work really loosely, kind of keep me in an open frame. And also because right now I'm thinking about what's going to be in that first frame, right? It looks like I'm redrawing all these frames, but I'm actually just keeping my hand moving while I'm trying to come up with an idea. So that's the sigil burning variant. We might do what I talked about, like the weapon. We did a 3D test with a giant hammer, which was interesting. Let me just quickly show you what that looks like. I'll just do no, that's fine actually. That very clearly highlights the problem with having a physical weapon destroy these tiles. So we had a version of this one where we animated it. So this is basically just, you know, super cool looking hammer. I don't even know why we have Victor in the team. I could obviously do wonderful 3D art, but anyway, so you've got this giant hammer. And let me just make an empty game object here, parent that stuff to it, so I can kind of swing it around. There we go. Now you got this hammer that can kind of go. But if you play the game, you guys can probably guess what's gonna happen now, because our camera standpoint is E. Come on. Controller connected and disconnected, and the game did not like that. Hold on. Let me restart that real quick for you guys. Weird. Not responding at all. Worked a second ago. Well, whatever. I mean, you can guess having, so our camera's around here in game, so that would just block out 2/3 of the screen, right? So that's not really an option. So I might want to do something piercing the tile from below. Also with that other thing in mind, where here, if you sink into the water, you know that the gods are kind of like underwater, under the surface somewhere. So them, you know, stabbing something from below might not be such a weird idea, right? That might work. Maybe they just jam their head. I don't know. Something. I might have to change their weapons out so that they all have stabby weapons, because now they kind of all have these. Or at least this guy and this guy have a hammer. He has more of a spear type weapon. That could work really well. They just don't. They just have feet. Or maybe instead of something actually piercing through, you just kind of see it vibrate because it's being hammered at from the bottom. Or maybe I could give this guy like some spikes and he just chisels at it. I don't know. Let's do the vibrating one. Let's see if we can find a way to make that clear to players, that it's so maybe have a texture on there, like some tiles, and they all, you know, it just starts going. Maybe it raises up in bits. Is the volume for the microphone okay, by the way? Because I haven't done a sound check. So, and that could be the countdown as well, where it goes 1, 2, 3, and then it breaks, and maybe it at every. So we have the actual hole that the tile is in be here. Maybe the tile gets. What they do in animation, kind of separate. So we'll do the hole in blue, and the actual tile in red, and it kind of gets knocked out of its. So that would have it come up here. And that still, you know, it kind of goes as it's being being knocked into the air. Which would be funny because then we can make people kind of like fly off as well if they stand on the tile. I'll just go. I'll kind of like throw the player around. Might be fun. Let's grab that blue. Kind of indicate that hey, there's still a hole under there. And then the break. So what happens if you have something stuck in something and you knock it loose? It would pop up first, right? And then fall through maybe. Or maybe it'll pop out a bit, then fall down, and then sink down. That might work. So we have the hole. So the break is the point at which the block is highest. I'll keep using this blue color code because it's blue-red color code here. It's really clear actually. The hole, and then the break. It's just the tile coming out the furthest. So it might actually just be up here. It just pops out. I mean, that might work. Then we have the surface of the. Then we do. Let's see, it breaks, it drops that back down. But half, right? We do the half sink thing. For a bit. Falls down quite a bit. And then we just have the rest of the sink where it just continues on down. Alright, I think that's also a fairly cool version. See if we can come up with at least one more variant for this before I get Victor and Lance to take a look at it. If you guys have any ideas for this, I'm not sure how many people are watching actually, because the kind of like the Stream Deck thing that I use, Twitch is I've got 4 viewers. All right, so if you guys have any ideas for this, just throw them in the chat and I'll take a look at it, and maybe we can come up with some cool stuff together. Okay. So what else do we have? There's a foreshadow. We could do something with lighting, because now everything that I've thought up is just on the tile. But maybe we can do, I have to change the scale for that, by the way. Let's do, so that's a tile. So what if the gods are not below, but they're above? And they shine a light downwards. I'm already not feeling feeling this one, to be honest. What if it just, we can do something with water or whatever, that it just kind of floods? But then fluid dynamics and Unity and a game like this, that's gonna have to be performant on on very small devices. That's not a great idea. Let's not go there either. Maybe we do something with a shader that starts to eat away at the edges of the tile. That might be a bit too subtle. Did I do anything with piercing through? No, right? That one is just hammering. Yeah, I'll do. All right, I'll do a. I'll do one where something pierces through, just to have it on the board. So we'll have something poke a hole. Do we do, for the countdown, do we do multiple pokes, or do we see it wriggle around like it's you know, you got square on and it just goes. And then what happens if the player is right there where the thing pierces through? Does the player get knocked away, or does it just clip through the car? Anyway, we'll have it poke multiple things. Fingers might be cool though, that a god just grabs. Let's do that. Let's do it. Maybe the god just jabs like one finger, two finger. No, that it has to be. And then what could be the countdown? And then maybe they only have. That must look so weird. Just me going go. But so he is like 4 fingers. So that would be a 3-second cooldown where you just see 1 finger, 2 finger, 3 finger collapse. But then, you know, these guys, he has 4 fingers. This guy probably has 4 fingers. These guys don't even have hands. I mean, this guy has hands back here. He's kind of hanging there, vestigial hands. This guy, we could give him hands. We could do little jazz hands. Hey, sup everyone? I've got sausage fingers. I don't know. We'll figure that out once we get there. Okay, so just a hand coming through. If we do thumb. Look at me, I've got hands. That's not really foreshadowed. I mean, I guess you just see it and you're like, oh shit. And then it folds. This is a thumb, okay? Just folds its fingers down. Just grips the thing. One by one. 1, 2, 3. I mean, it would probably also do it with his thumb. Okay. And then the break might be where it just kind of jiggles it loose. Just goes, so everything just kind of shakes. Nope. We need the half sync, which, because now the tile is in a hand instead of just kind of sinking down, it's weirder for it to make this angle, I think. Because something is still holding it, right? Why would it do? But alright, we'll just put it in, figure it out later. And then instead of it sinking, you just see it disappear into the depths. Okay. I mean, it's pretty creepy and cool, and you know, matches with that God's idea. Because here you never really see the gods at all. Something just kind of, well, I mean, that's creepy in itself. Just something knocking on the underside of your world. And that breaking down an entire piece of landscape. I'm just not sure how clear that is to the players. This one ties into the gods. I mean, if people have been paying attention, right? If they recognize these sigils, which we do have coming back in different spots. So, for instance, in the new join scene, the sigils are actually on the spawning portals, right? And when you drive, this thing's actually quite like a hand as well. and when you drive in here to indicate that you're ready, the sigils kind of glow up there as well. Let me just show you guys real quick, if I can. I mean, the controls have been a bit... So here's that diamond with a circle in the middle sigil. You see it down there, rotating slowly, and you see it up there. And then when I drive the car to the ready area, and I'll show you guys, there's no sigils on the fingers now. And then once I drive in, one of the sigils appears there. It's not the same sigil, by the way. I've never noticed that before. So we'll have to sync that up a bit better. But that's the basic idea. Like, you are associated with one of the gods and one of the sigils, and that thing appears as you drive into the ready area. I'm trying to find a spot where I can drive in so you can actually see it appear. Now here we go. Blink. Something like that. And then from the deep dark depths and the underworld, suddenly we are in a super bright environment with a cute little car. Oh, there's the old tile sync effect, by the way. Oh yeah, because I set the timer to 1 second to be able to make the GIF this morning, so now all the tiles destruct super quickly. So here's our entire world breaking down. I'm actually surprised at the frame rate right now, considering we have so much physics going on at the same time with all those tiles breaking. It's actually, I'm impressed with ourselves. Yep. All right. Enough play. Let's get back to work. Alright, might want to do another one. And another one. And another one. Let's just write out some stuff, by the way. I'll do that later. Let's see. What other ways can we have styles breakdown? So we do actually have, thanks to Menno from Dutch Game Garden. Where's that with? I'm not sure if he's still with Dutch Game Garden, but Menno organized, still does organize Dutch Courage Monthly. This is a game dev show and tell event in Utrecht. He suggested we might want to have players who died control the tile syncing. Which would be a cool pacing trick as well, because then we would not initiate the tile syncing until a player has died, which is the exact moment at which you want to start bringing the pacing up. Because as long as, you know, everyone is still alive, no one is waiting, right? So there's no need to restrict the duration of a game. But as soon as the first person has died, you don't want the game to drag on for much longer after that, because, you know, they're basically just waiting for the next round, so you kind of have to accelerate the game from that point on. Having players who died actively destroy tiles instead of doing it with time allows us to have the tile destruction start exactly when a player has died and not before. So that's there's a nice tie in there, I think, mechanically. The exact method, the mechanics for how a player is going to destroy tiles is something that that's going to take a lot of exploration to figure out how that could be done elegantly. And I believe Victor is a fan of a ghost mode, where after you die, you drive around a little ghost car. And you can still do things in the world that have less of an impact than the actual gameplay, but you can still kind of bully players. It's similar to into Bomberman, where if you get taken out, you get to sit on the edge and still throw bombs into the map. It's also similar to Leoric from Heroes of the Storm, who, if he dies, gets to still walk around as a ghost and cast slow on people, and he still reveals people. So it's an interesting mechanic, and there's Victor has a lot of ideas for it, which are interesting as well. But we could also give the player kind of like a top view, so that we say, okay, you died, and now you see something like this, which kind of looks like the new Slack logo. And then we give the player maybe like a thing that allows them to let me just set that intensity to nuclear, that range. There we go. Where they just kind of have this thing that they can control, and then they go boom, and then that tile starts to destruct. Something like that. But then, so what does the second player do, though, right? I mean, what if player one, I mean, do we just have all these well, not all these, I guess. I mean, the maximum amount of players is 4, so you'd always only have a maximum of 2 of these spotlights trailing across the map, or whatever kind of pointer we decide to have. That will work. Or you could have 2 ghost cars. The advantage is that it scales up the pacing even more. So as you have more players, you have to wait for the rest of the players to die. The more chance that players start dying, because now you have 2 people destroying tiles, right? Though I guess 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 to a side. That's 4 times 4, 16. It's only 16 tiles to destroy. So what do they do once they've destroyed all the tiles, right? They just kind of hang out here and mess about with the light, I guess. But if they drive around as a ghost car, they can still do other things, right? So destroying tiles but just becomes one of the several things that they can do, which might be more interesting. Which is definitely more interesting. I think we might have to go for that option. Yeah, this just doesn't feel fun either, because we'd have to put a fairly significant cooldown on the tile destruction to prevent the players from just going gish, 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 and then they'd be done within 10 seconds. So we'd have to put a cooldown on it, but then you have a cooldown. So now what do? You just kind of go, ooh, we got a little pointer, we get a little light. I mean that's not fun. It's not fun at all. Okay. Sometimes I have to kind of visualize the gameplay in this way to come to certain conclusions. So the alternative is a ghost car, so you get taken down. And we just give you a little... Wonder if I could actually make this look like a ghost. Not really, right? Switch off the visuals, and then you still see the car though. Interesting. It doesn't really matter. I can't make them transparent right now anyway, not without changing the actual materials themselves, but something. Oh, I forgot this doesn't seem to be working. But alright, so basically you get taken down. But then, you know, tying that back in with the whole gods thing, so you fall down, sink into the water, the ghosts take you out of your car, and what remains, because the player is the character. So Ludo narrative connection here. Let's see. So you get taken down. And the current favorite out of these, I believe, is this one, where a giant hand comes up and grabs you and accepts you as a tribute. So you fall into the water. Splash. That doesn't work. The gods giveth, and the gods taketh away. That's not pinky. So, pretty good hand. They grab you, they drag you down. And then spirit rises up. Does something remain? So if we have a if we do like a closed fist that drags you down, and then out of it we see a spirit escape. That one actually comes up, grabs you. Fingers would go. Drags you down. Spirit escapes. I'm not feeling that, but let's move on and see if we can just swap out this frame later. And then the spirit comes back on land. N is now a ghost. Car. I don't know. Okay, but mechanically what it does. Ghost car can drive around. Ghost car can... I'm just gonna cheat here and look at what Victor said. Put that in here and then see if I want to change anything. Let's see. He said drive around. Maybe you could place a bomb or rune to blow up a tile, right? So that's the reason why I'm transferring over from this work into this work, basically. So you can put down a rune. And then drive off. And then that rune triggers this whole story here. That could be cool. What else can he do? Pick up batteries so that other players can't pick them up. Picking up batteries actually might be a cool way to bring a player back. If you pick up enough of them. If you steal enough batteries, but you can't interact with buildings, so you have to wait for someone else to break down a building, and then you swoop in, steal the battery, and like steal maybe 4 batteries. Boom, you're back alive. So place runes. That would extend the gameplay by a fuck ton, by the way. Let's do put you there. Steal. You wouldn't download a card. Steal batteries. Come back alive. I need more room. So I've been to Scotland 2 weeks ago. Scotland. 2 weeks ago, so I keep doing this really bad. I hope it's a Scottish accent. What was that? All right. No. Let's see, steal batteries, and then we might have to rethink the things being batteries and transfer that into. If we're gonna do a respawning thing, and I already know that at least Lance is not gonna be a fan. I think. Oh, this perspective though. So wonky. Let's try to keep some of those parallel, eh? There we go. Maybe slightly less massive bumper. There we go. Okay. Respawn. All right, cool. What else can we do? Impact someone's drift or make them slip more if you drive into someone. So I'm a ghost car. And if I drive through, because I'm guessing ghost cars just kind of clip through everything, they lose their grip. Okay, I'm not too fond, because you'd just basically be trying to mirror someone's driving pattern. Same thing goes for the other idea here, which is a slow let's just do a clock to indicate slow. There we go. I'm a fan of placing runes and stealing batteries. That sounds like a lot of fun. Stealing batteries and coming back specifically to extend the gameplay. Because our current games with 4 players, they don't even last a minute, so they could be longer. Though I do see that if players are more experienced, the battles they take longer, and if we do our proper bump balancing in this sprint, then the battles are going to be longer too. What I want to do is find a shape or form for this bit in the narrative, in the stuff here. So I think that's cool, but you know, whatever. It needs to be done really well. Here's my Should chat from this thing? Yeah. We got a official Yellowcake tablet for our playtesting stuff that I'm using right now to do some Twitch stuff. I actually have Streamlabs OBS set up as well, with a remote on the tablet that allows me to control the scenes right from that tablet. But the dumb part is, Streamlabs OBS does not have the automatic scene switcher that OBS Studio has. So right now I'm still using OBS Studio, because when I go over to Unity like this, it just, you know, automatically sorts itself out, and I don't have to push any buttons. As soon as Streamlabs has that feature, though, I'm switching hard. Okay, what was I? Why am I here? All right. One thing. Lance is doing the. Why did I hit Control S? Oh, I guess that was there during the entire event as well. Okay. Lance just pushed some rewired things. Let me just quickly see. Destruction, start tension. Yeah, that can be discarded. That's me enabling, disabling that thing that can be discarded as well. And I didn't touch this at all. I'm going to discard that as well. Yes, please. And we'll do a pull. And then I have a Unity package that I have to download, which is in general here. Did I want to open this? I want to download it. There we go. Okay. Yellowcake, dashing, dodging, search, get, game, assets, game. Nope. Plugins. There we go. What should I have to? No, I should put it in the local first, and then import it. All right. Yeah. So we'll go to Unity. Thank you. And we'll import package. That'll take a while. We'll go back to Photoshop for now. So if I can find a way to tie this in with the characters and make it character specific, then I think we might have everything tied in with the narrative, with the seed, right? Like then we have the mechanic in there, but it also communicates better the stuff that we want about the gods, because it fits in with that, and it also shows us the characters one more time, which is cool because they're not really all that prominent right now yet. Ties characters to the gods, ties the gods to the mechanics, shows us what's happening under. Why the ghosts though? Why, if you're being taken, and then how do you come back? So then the holes in this are the batteries. And why we're coming back alive at all, or why coming back, right? If we are tributes to the gods. And then if we do, why come back, right? Maybe they're vengeful, like it turned into a vengeful spirit. You're like, oh, hold on. You can have my physical form, but I'm not having it. Fuck those guys up there. I'm gonna go back up there and mess with them. You come back as a ghost. Doesn't even have to be a ghost card, by the way. You could just be a ghost. I have a lot to discuss with the guys after this. And there's a lot to be made if we do something like this as well. I think it's cool though. Let's see. Entities reinstall will not lose input by reinstalling. Yeah, that's cool because that's what Lance's push is going to fix. Okay, Lance is pushing the thing. Ooh. I have to move rewired to the plugins folder though, so that it'll be ignored in our Git. So let's see where rewire put itself. There. You go in there. So that source tree should get rid of that. Thank you very much. Then we go and look for Lance's push. And there it is. Our commit is still empty. There we go. Pull. And everything is gonna break down. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay. Back to Unity. Rewired installation issue detected. Uh-oh. Wow. Wow. Let's go here. That went way too fast too. It just popped up that message. Now it's so this is what I was waiting for. Like I said, it went way too fast, and normally it has to do all this stuff when I come back from source stream. So it must have not realized the updates yet or something. There we go. Okay. Let's hope this works, right? Boom. All right. Well, that's kind of broken. I'm just talking to Lance about how we're gonna have to fix this. All right. Hold on. I'm just quickly gonna do something off stream. Okay. That almost went flawless. I wasn't supposed to move the. So normally what we do is we put the plugins into a plugin folder so that the Git doesn't doesn't control where those plugins go and shit. But this one should not have been in the plugin folder. So me moving that plugin kind of broke things, and I needed Lence's help to unbreak things. But everything's unbroken now, sort of works. So it's not really a big change to the game or the gameplay, but now we're using Rewired as a input program plugin instead of X input, which means that we should be able to use different controllers now, Bluetooth controllers, which means we can start testing with Switch Joy-Cons, for instance, to see if the game works well with those, which is really nice. Also means that we have a different way of handling multiplayer UI, because even though Rewired states that they do not have an official fix for the local multiplayer UI problem in Unity, it helps. There is something that they do. You're coming back to scare the shit out of me. Sorry, Mr. Scythe, Mr. Scythe, Mrs. Scythe, or Mr. Scythe. Either one. Sorry about that. Anyway, so Rewired does help with fixing that. It only means that Lance has to redo pretty much all the programming involved for the UI. So yeah, all the UI is kind of broken now. Yeah. So what's there to do for me? I'm just gonna go and try and figure out this mess that I've created for myself here, where there's lots of hooks. And I think I'm gonna discuss this with Lance and Victor this afternoon around the our usual stand-up time. That's something else on my plate for today. Let's quickly check out our issue board. What else? So it's gonna the building's physics tweaks. Yeah, I'm gonna wait with doing any in-engine work until Rewired is up and running and everything. Like when the game is stable again, that's when I'm gonna start fucking around with the actual game. Just don't want to touch anything now that might break something down. Let's make a masked guy. So because I don't have a ready solution for the problem. Maybe he has a hoodie. That I've created for myself here. So while I'm just gonna let my brain simmer on that for a while and do some character sketches. I have to do these at some point anyway, so might as well just let my subconscious kind of figure that out while my conscious is just kind of having fun drawing some zany characters or something. So what's cool about our seed, about our kind of narrative thing, is that really any type of entity, like I draw a lot of humanoids, but they don't have to be humanoid. Like, yeah, man. Maybe he's a DJ, right? Lucio. Billowy hoodie thing. It's like a creepy smile. Nah, it's not the DJ table. Maybe he's a rapper. Blah 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 blah. I completely lost my train of thought. I was explaining something to you guys. Oh yeah, that I was gonna let. So the downside to me, letting my brain figure something out, and at the same time, kind of like doing these sketches and drawings, is that it leaves very little processing power. This is basically this guy, the same head shape. For talking about what I'm doing. Part of me is just doing, sketching quite automatically, and the other part of me is still trying to still kind of marinating on that other problem. That takes up a lot of processing power, yo. This guy is silly as hell. Oh, he's a rapper, right? Should have a shouty mouth thing. Hey, 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 yo, yo, look at me, I'm a rapper. I mean, that's how rappers sound, right? I don't know, I'm 31, I don't know what they sound like now. I listen to classical music. I used to listen to hip hop, and then I turned 30 and I just started listening to classical music. That'll happen. That'll happen. First, I used to think Drake and Lil Uzi were cool, and then just on my 30th birthday, I was like, what's this? Is this what the kids listen to? Can't listen to that. That is a long ass finger. Come on, it's in there somewhere. I'll just straighten one. I'm gonna spend too much time on this guy. And then one of you give him like super skinny legs. He's just like, hey, I wear skinny jeans and a hoodie and a stand like this. Just like these. I don't know what kind of shoes he has, man. I don't know, let's bare feet. Just like, hey, check out my big toe. And all my other toes. Yeah. Rappers go bare feet, right? They don't wear shoes. I'm fairly certain they don't wear shoes. They just walk around bare feet, being rebels. Oh, really? Which one did you get? You're low. Maybe it's a spider or something. I don't know. Maybe it's just like a ton of legs. How's that layer locked? Come on, man. Don't be like that. It's just like, yo, look at me, I'm a rapping spider. I got 4 legs. I'm like, spider's got 8 legs though, right? Yeah. Oh my god. Look, a ton of eyes. Cause that's gangster. You ain't gangster unless you got at least like 7 eyes, son. You know, these hands are not even hands, they're just like gloves. Just gloves glued into like West Side symbols. Just I don't know, man. And he wears South Pole sweaters. Cause he's down with the kids like that. Alright. Let's do another one, and then I'm gonna return to the problem at hand. I just need to distract myself from bullshit some of the times. Alright. State. Alright, let's do one more character. I can do another old guy because we lost Greg. It's not about you, Greg. So we have Greg's kind of fat-ish, cranky looking, so maybe I'll do a happy skinny old man. Ice King from Adventure Time. I love Ice King, man. It is by far the best character. No, I actually think it might just legit for maybe Ice King. It's the most interesting character in Adventure Time. I mean, Marceline has some interesting story hooks, but, or not even story hooks, but more like personality quirks, but then it all just kind of boils down to, hey, my dad's been a dick to me my entire life, and that's why I have trouble making friends and staying in relationships and stuff. And you know, that is the almost the entire extent of her personality. And then Ice King is just like, hey man, I want to be your friend, but I'm inherently evil, and I don't know how to deal with that at all. But I'm so lonely. I don't know, it's interesting or something. I don't know. There's something like tragic about him. I'm not too sure if I like the arc where you see where they explain where it comes from, right? I think I could have gone without that actual explanation. It was a nice episode in its own right, because you know it's kind of interesting to see his origin story there. Maybe he's like a turtle man. This guy should draw a turtle body. I want him to be skinny though. I don't want to have that round shape. You can kind of hint at turtles in his profile though. I have no idea where I'm going with this guy. Just kind of, we'll just draw some lines, some random shit, and see what it turns into. What do we do for Greg? Sweater, right? Yeah. All right, let's do. Maybe there's one of those neighbory types who's always gardening. So he just has like a rake. And he's just like, howdy neighbor. What are those art as well, making a Queen of the Sea type of character with blue and goldfish armor, wielding a trident. That sounds cool. So like a female version of gender bend Poseidon, I guess, or Aqua woman or Aqua girl, depending on her age. Let's see, where did Unity go, by the way? Yeah, it could be cool. Or maybe Ariel, what's her name from Little Mermaid, decided to get rid of her tyrant dad. Does he wear baggy, one of those plaid shirts, right? Old man plaid shirt. I love how there's shopping results first for old man plaid shirt, and then it's like old men shop at this one store. It's all the same store too. So if you're an old man, you just have to go to ctshirts.com, and then there's all these young men. Oh, that's at this point. I was really hoping for there to be like a dedicated old man shirt store, but all right, let's look at some ref here. Handsome old man in plaid shirt. I want to have like a skinny old man though, like this. This is gold. I need more of a total body though. This guy's creepy as hell. Holy shit. That is just wrong. Stop. What are you? Why? Every time I look for a ref on stream, there's like these pictures that are just like, where does that come from? I just want to have a skinny old man, dude. Just give me that gold skinny old man pictures, right? I can't believe there isn't more. There aren't more results for skinny old man in a plaid shirt. Yeah, now you get that's what I was afraid of. I don't want anatomy ref specifically. I want to see how that shirt fits around. Fuck. Fits around his chest and shit. All right, we'll just wing it. I've got some. Yeah. Handsome and young men. That's not what I Googled for. Come on, man. Like, this is not even remotely close to what I googled. Like, that's some bullshit. Right. I'll keep this guy around though. This is remarkably similar to what I had already drawn too. The big nose, like the big folds here. The eyes, which are upturned moons. I like this cap though. I might steal that as well. Maybe he has like. What direction is that gonna be in? Come back to that later. We'll do. So is these? You should have these skinny ass shoulders under here. So those parts rest there. Maybe we'll. More open because he's been out in the yard all day. Creepy old man chest. Oh wait, he's not supposed to be creepy, right? Ah well. Accidentally creeping in. And there's a skinny arm under there, and there's a skinny arm under there. We have like way too large on the shirt. That tucks under his armpit there, flares out, flares back in because he's one of those people that buys shirts on the cheap and just tucks him in his belt. And maybe it kind of overlaps with his belt as well. Buttons down the front. Something like that. Let's make this one stick out even more. Shoulder drops down, sticks out because of the load of fabric. And then there's a bunch of folds. That fold is the wrong way. There. Now it's almost like he has little man breasts under there. That's not supposed to happen. We'll do slightly longer. And that's why I wanted to have the ref, because I have no idea how it falls across. Kind of hangs out. These men all kind of have that belly thing going on. And this guy's just too fit. That's the same guy. Maybe I'm googling the wrong thing. Maybe we should just do like friendly old farmer. And that might get me. Oh my god, that's creepy as hell. I'm closer to this though. Restaurant seeing some motivating quote on the wall, but below the text was Shutterstock in gray. So they just took a picture from Google Images and painted that on the wall. Oh my god. That's brilliant. Sorry, I have to open that article because it seems amazing. Maybe I can go to this guy and just find some related images. Just get back to this guy really quick. Welcome to Jordan's dev stream, where he just browses Google Images for like half an hour. I'll go back to drawing in a second. Just need to find one good image for those folds. Hey, there's a Hide the Pain Herald, I think. Or isn't that him? Oh no, it isn't him. I just fall straight down. Alright. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Let's do this for now. And he had a, yeah, gieter. I'm not sure what you would call that in English. Let's see, his thumb would be there. So there's a handle coming out here. Yeah, one of those things with water in them for plants. I can't quite remember the name of them. But a plant waterer thinger. It's the official name for it now. All right, and then skinny arm. That is a long ass comes out shoulder, arm, and I don't like it. I don't like it. I want to have that angle in there. And we'll do that, put that there. Some fair arms going on. Good. Fast lines or straight lines? Has his thumb resting up against that thing. I have one finger sticking out. Just kind of falling under there. Hello there, neighbor. That makes him creepy. See if we can make that, turn that into some rounder shapes. I'm gonna have a coffee in a second. It's right after I space some of this stuff together. Watering can. Watering can. That's the word. Thanks, internet denizens. And or probably students of mine. Holding it like that would probably hurt my wrist. What, the watering can? You can't hold the watering can? Well, it depends on if it's full or empty though, right? I mean, if it's empty, it's not going to weigh a lot. Get a slightly bigger one. Odd shape. It's more like a basket now. Basket of bees. Alright. Then we'll take a line down from there. Put a little foot there. The other one there. Get rid of most of that line. And we'll just have that leg. Maybe he has the pockets. Comes down like that. The fuck is this farm sins? Yeah, we're gonna make a farm sim. I don't know. I'm just making characters, man. There we go. All right. Maybe you should be wearing boots instead of shoes like that, but whatever. We'll get back to that. All right. Let's put him on the thing. Grab him as well. There we go. All right. I need a coffee. And then, so I think I'll stream for about. I'll be back in about 5 minutes. Stream for 30 more minutes, and then call it a day for the stream. So I'll be back in a second. All right. Got myself some coffee. Legit ass chocolate as well. All right. Back to the matter at hand. I was kind of trying to scare you. Alright, tell sinking you were killed by, yeah. That got me into this whole bit where both of them just kind of solve two problems. Let's see what other problems we have that might influence our design here, right? So we have a bit of the art consistency thing, and then we have that we want multiple themes, another level. Not really a problem, any of those things. I don't think we, yeah, there's nothing really else to tie into this. Okay, so you fall into the water, hand comes up and grabs you. So this could either be an escape, or a job, right? If we flip that around, what if you don't escape from the gods, but they send you back? They say, hey, slave, raw, yeah, my god, raw. What is your bidding, my lord? Yeah, I'm floating here. Kind of like this one. And it's like, hey man, it's like, yeah, got a job to do. Yeah, you got to drive around and tell me which tiles to break down with my hand, possibly hammer. Could be a thing. I don't know. Hey man, yeah, you wanna steal some batteries and come back alive? All right, so it could be like how you can strike a deal with the devil, right? Deal with the devil, where he's like, hey, you're dead, but you don't have to be. How would you like to be my link to the world? Or would you like to be an evil minion? So what if the gods have like side bets running? So when you die, there's one of the gods that wants to change the outcome of the game, approaches you. Let's see, where do I write this stuff down? Gods have. Right, so you die, and like this god comes to you like, hey, you're like, yeah. It's like, man, you weren't supposed to die yet. I've got money on you, man. So, boop, you're a ghost now. So that's all I can do. So it can cheat a little bit, but it can't really cheat that much. And, better get the hell back in there. And fuck some shit up. And then that allows you to come back. Yeah. All right. That could be a thing. Cross that one out. That one too. I don't like them. I think this should be the thing. And then, what if you could either... Nah, that's too complex. Fuck that. You could, as a player, decide to no longer break down buildings to prevent other players from coming back. But, then players can still place runes to destroy tiles, which also destroys buildings. But I don't think it spawns batteries. Alright. Doesn't have to be a car. It'd be just like... I'm a ghost person. Or one of the orbs that Victor has made. Ball. The trails. Just like a guy. Whichever. I think we can use the orbs that Victor made. The little trails following their route, that might work. Okay. Okay, so, but then we have a lot to explain in the death sequence. You die, you start sinking, big hand comes up, grabs your car. Then we'd have to do this entire sequence. That doesn't contain this text anymore. It's like, hey man, give me the cool things. And we need sequence where you come back and then you respawn. That's too much. That is too complex. Work for me. Or it could be done. It could be pop, pop, pop. I don't know. I'm not convinced. I haven't convinced myself yet. And then, if I have to pitch something to Lance and Victor, and I'm not convinced that I'm gonna be able to convince them, right? It has to be more airtight than that if I want to. Also, they're watching the stream, so they've already seen. Probably already have an opinion on this, that I'm just not aware of yet. but we'll see. All right, so how about something completely, just letting go of this entire thing, just something completely different, which is super hard because I'm into this idea up to the point where it's hard for me to come up with completely new shit. Let's grab some frames. And I'll just do this entire bit here, this story. Anew, right? Because now I know what the steps are. So you're taken down, you're taken to the gods. Somehow you end up in contact with the gods. You go back somehow, become something like a spirit or a ghost. You get to do something, and that might respawn you, right? That's the anchors that we have established. And now I've copied this frame every single time, which means that it's gonna have this line in there every single time. Cool. Yeah. I actually want to keep that line. Because you are still taken down. Splash, right? And what other options did we have here? We had the hand to have some tentacles, but those are not represented by any of these. The tentacles just felt like Cthulhu-like. I like this thing where the car sinks to something that resembles the join scene a lot. So let's see what that could be like. So we have the join scene thing. Down there, slightly smaller. And you sink towards it. And they perfectly. The car just happens to be exactly parallel to the camera right now because I've been struggling with perspective a little more. Okay. Let's do a little cheat here. Let's just do that. Skew it a bit. Let's do that. Grab that one. There we go. And there's our little car. Floating off towards the bottom. Right. And then there we see a god waiting, standing around. Let's grab this guy. So he looks the most standing aroundy. Whew, that's a different scale. We need him there for reference. Legs that go inward, spindly body that comes up like that. Then tiny little head. No, carve around his head a little bit. Put those stripes in. So that's clear enough at that scale. It's like that room. Okay. So you're like, oh no, sinking ball. But oh, what's that? There's somebody already waiting over at the thing. And then when you arrive at the thing. So it's like, hey, here's your car. Like, with the amount of times that I've drawn the same dumbass little car, you'd expect for me to at some point just get the perspective right on that thing, but I am no Kim Jong-gi, not by a long shot. Alright, so we got the little car. Bumper thing. It's just like, there's that shrine thing. The god is kind of coming over like, hey man, sucks to be you, dude. Hey, how would you like to not be dead? Or something or whatever. I imagine this god talks like that because he's like a super laid back pose thing going on. It's like, hey man, blah blah, contract with the devil. And then you get sent back up, I think. It's just like, let's do that thing. It's just like, spow. And you appear with some kind of effect. I'm not drawing that fucking car again. Let's grab this ugly ass one. Bring it over. Squeeze me. Bring it over in here. I'm like, oh, cool. I am once more here as a ghost. Oh, wait. As a ghost. Bonk. And then you can what else do we have? So yeah, you can place runes or bombs. But let's keep it some kind of cool effect when you do that. You burn a rune into the ground, and then that leads to tile destruction. No. And can also, it's the other thing we said you could do. Yeah, grab batteries, which cling. And then if you have enough batteries to come back alive. Okay, man. I'm back. And then you steal batteries from people who just destroyed a building, right? And then you respawn. So one more of these. I'm gonna make some new frames. I love the fact that that line is there, and that's keeping me from doing this in the most efficient manner. Okay. What else can we come up with? So as always, we start with a player gets trashed. Then we can refer to this document to see options. So another thing I was thinking about is like the combat being a tribute to the gods, and these characters earning marks from the gods, right? So you could also do something with that you remind the player of the score over multiple battles as they're underwater. Like there's an underwater scoreboard, or I had this kind of like this judgment thing here. Or this offering thing. You could also do so many things, but alright, just put it up higher as well, actually. I do want it to be actually white, and then just there. Yeah, no, that's not gonna read. And that's kind of like in Sea of Thieves, where you have to walk yourself back into life. They've got that ship thing going on, right? Where you have to. So the cool part about Sea of Thieves is that you choose, sort of, to respawn. It's an act by the player. It's not a system that happens to the player. It is the player deciding to want to come back and try again or whatever. And I think that's pretty cool. Maybe we can do some kind of, let's see where I put this text on. It's gonna ruin everything, isn't it? Probably. Oh yeah, yeah, a lot of the gradients are in there too. Great. Just do blue over it. I always manage to do this in such a way that at some point this is going to be layers and layers of shit on top of each other. But it's like I said before, it helps to have it all be messy, because then it doesn't really matter. Like, you could just be Metal God salute you, Tony Car Driver, man. You just kind of be open, right? Like, anything I come up with is fine, and I don't have to think about how to render it or how to make it look cool or whatever. I just kind of throw it in there. Scoreboard. So how would the gods approach a scoreboard? They're all there, standing around. Oh, I put that in there as well. All right. Yeah, this stuff ain't easy, man. I'm gonna put that ruins at least some of the stuff. Something like that, and then grab some of the purpley colors. The green. Let's put the green in the middle, actually. Take that purpley color, that around the outsides. Slightly more purple. And get some blue in the middle there. Okay, cool. And then put a portal thing. Give that a more interesting silhouette as well. I can't, because I decided to put a glow on there. Yay! Great. Well, I can expand upon it, just can't erase anything out. Sketch. So I could do placed. That's not better. Can I just do that? I can. Alright, that is better. That's like a sci-fi door, though. It's not what we're looking for here. Stuff hanging there, you know, just suggesting that there's more going on there. All right. Add force be with you. The bet with souls that spiral around them. The bet with atom configurations, building blocks of life. The bet with various vistas they accumulated or created from various. Bet with universal arrogance. The bet with knowledge in the form of symbols of glyphs. Bet with ownership. Go nuts. I am nuts. You can't tell me what to do. All right, yeah, I'll go nuts. I like how they're that idea of them all sort of betting the souls, like bartering, because I have these bets, right? And they can maybe resurrect people. But that might cost them a soul, or maybe somebody else gets a soul if someone who has earned your mark makes a kill. You get an extra point, and then you can kind of see here those points. You know, hover around them. Do one that comes out from here, goes up. Whatever. So this guy is like 3. Oh no, they're all heading in the same direction. I don't like that. That's not aesthetically pleasing. It's kind of. So they've got these things floating around, right? And these are just maybe statues of the gods. Like maybe you don't really see the gods ever. You just see these systems that they've built. This is going to be so trippy to figure out for players. This, like, yeah. I was thinking about that orb, that weird Victor ghost orb. So imagine being a player who doesn't know about all these things, and you just, you play this colorful bumper car game, and then you die, and like, this shows up. That's so weird. Yeah, we'll have to consider that impact, I think. I think it could be cool, definitely. It's gonna be weird. All right. Well, there's enough here at least to have some long-ass discussions about, which are my favorite thing, because I'm a game designer. No. See, what else can we do? No, I'm gonna leave that one in here. All right, so Bob's Return to Gods. That earns the mark. I had this idea though. I kind of also wanted to show the character that made the kill, and show the character that got killed. So with this one, for instance, we've got the character that got killed very clearly here. And then maybe as he walks in there, you see an orb fly out and start to turn around. That's gonna be such a fuck ton of work. But anyway, do I want to, or do we very clearly assign patron gods? Like, do we just go, hey man, you belong to this guy? Do we, when you have the flying orbs, there's so fucking many options here. When you're a little orb, maybe you have your god symbol above you, also glowing. Maybe there's a revenge thing that you can only do things against the player who killed you. But what if the player gets killed that killed you, and then but you're back, and then no, fuck that. That'd be dumb. That would be dumb. This might work. We might tie that. So you have the spawning, right? Spawning is a teleport. Ooh, what if you could choose a patron god in the car creation menu? And then that gives you a specific post-death power. right. I like this. Thanks, Lance. I like it too. I'm fairly excited about all of this. It's kind of... I'm at the same time just going in 7 million different directions, but at the same time I feel like it's kind of coming together. Let's see. So this is storyboards for post-death, right? Concepts. A specific post-death pattern, which means that we could do more brainstorming on what happens after death, if you want. God, yeah. So what if the runes do different things? So one of them destroys tiles. Another, can we place hazards? I think destroying tiles would be the most powerful one already. I just think that this might be... So we don't have that many tiles. It might just be super powerful. But that, I mean, we'd have to test that, but... And then just, we could have like 5 gods, so you'd have 5 god-specific hazards. On top of the environmental hazards that we already have. Okay. Cool. Cool. We can do drastic things too, like lower razor to the water level. We can do a total shift the entire map and direction. We can make tiles shakers to shake players out of balance. We can spawn AI that annoy players. Can we spawn AI? Can we just have AI first? Yeah, I mean, I'm all down for all those. It's just more work. I think we have to make some hard choices, but there's a lot of directions that we can go in here. Definitely. I mean, and that's cool. This opens up a lot of options. All right. I'm happy with a lot of the stuff I did today. This has been a good day. I'm excited to get back to work tomorrow. I might actually, if I feel up to it, tomorrow I might do another stream outside of schedule, like whatever. Because I'm gonna end this stream. I should have ended it 15 minutes ago, but I always go over time. But because I want to discuss some of this stuff with Lance and Victor. Actually, yeah. Wait, I'll do a poll of more rewired stuff. We got so much energy from doing that event last week. I can tell, like, this kind of stuff, I was really afraid to do it, to kind of just come up with crazy ideas before. And then, but just doing a super successful event last week, or it was fairly successful. Man, I could just tell that we're all really excited again to be working on this game. Alright, I think Lance changed some rewired stuff. So let me just quickly check that out. I'm not sure what he changed. I just saw that he did. So wait, I used to really like the frame rate here, but now that I've played the event build, which is slightly faster, I think probably because it's a build, the frame rate is better than the editor version. Also because I'm on a GTX 970 on my PC here, and on the event we had a GTX 1070 running the game, and it was just silky smooth, and that really changes a lot of the feel as well, especially for the handling of the car. Like it's really snappy, and you can really, like, when the frame rate is good, you really have a lot of control over the car. But ooh, rumble. Well, that's new. Oh yeah, well, that was. We also did a fix that I've been wanting in the game for a while now, where objects like these small. So we already had a fix for the buildings, where someone's drilling somewhere. Oh, there's a maximum to the amount of batteries you can pick up now, but they still magnetize towards you. So now I can make a supply of batteries follow me around, and they just immediately pick one. Anyway, so the buildings, yeah, we might have. Ooh, Victor made it blue. Out of the blue. We already had a fix for the buildings, wherein the debris now no longer impacts the car, so you don't get bogged down in a bunch of debris whenever you break a building down. I want to change this system slightly to have you to have the momentum of the car stopped when you hit a building, and then it doesn't have physics, which is kind of, oops, broke my controller by hitting it, which is how we have the props set up right now. So these fences here will stop the car for a second. I have to change the masses of those things as well, but for instance, these will slow the car down at first, and then after, like, I believe 0.5 seconds, they no longer have any impact on my handling whatsoever. So they switch physics. Did you see that? Like, I was pushing this thing around at first, and then after half a second, it just clips through my car and no longer has an effect on my car. This one too, and that really helps with how driving around feels, because it used to be so that they would all just, you know, continuously have collision with the car, and that would make the car fall over very, very often. So that's a really, really nice fix. Another fix that I might actually just do tomorrow, because it's super low amount of work, is that, so we put in all these barriers, right, at all the edges. We have some over here as well, to keep players from dying too fast, right? So in the beginning of the game, all the fences and everything will still be up. So whenever you get hit, you know, it's kind of like you have multiple lives because you're being saved by those fences, right? You get to correct yourself once, but the problem is when you actually get hit by players, very often, and let me just, I guess Lance didn't map these buttons yet, because there used to be a jump button here, but it's gone. But very often you will get some upwards force as well, and we saw a lot of players being bumped over the fences. So I guess the thing that I can do is just grab these. I should do that right now. As long as no one is working, because the prefab editor in Unity, so nice. Let's make these colliders super high, so you don't get bumped over them. Should work. Just hoping they don't like. Right now they all have super high colliders, so you don't bump over them as easily. And same thing goes for these guys. Oh, they have 2 colliders. Interesting. Let's make you super high. So in Y you can hop with I. Oh yeah, alright, I'll do it in a second. So this is gonna look a bit silly, because you're gonna be hitting air, but because of the perspective of our game, it's fairly hard to tell usually how far from the ground you are. So I'm hoping that it won't look too silly. While the gameplay benefits are very very obvious. I mean, being caught on your first on the first time that you're being bumped out, just having something that catches you, really makes the game feel less random, right? Because now somebody has to knock you out like 2-3 times maybe before you really actually die and fall into the water. And by the time someone has killed you 3 times, like it should be clear to you, like, oh yeah, shit, okay, this is fair, right? All right, let's see. What? How? Let's try that again. Or do I have to go through the... I have to go through the join scene. Sorry. All right. There's the hop. Yep. I'm guessing that still has to be player 1. Yeah. That has to be player 1 too, right? Yeah. Okay. So there's the hop. So I get knocked out, beam, and I hit the fence. Get knocked out. Oh, I can actually still hop over that. How high is that hop? Let's see. That's pretty high, right? I thought it was anyway. Let's do a comparison here. Oh, that's quite high. I wonder if players get hit that high. So I can hit it like that. Okay, okay, interesting. Press spacebar to instant restart. Where? Just in the game scene? Jump over these as well? Nope. Oh, alright. From lobby. Ah, okay, yeah. Fair enough. So you can jump over these. Nope. You're in a bit of trouble if you hit them. Alright, that requires some tweaking, but it's getting there. Alright, I'm gonna end the stream here. Thank you all for watching. I'll post on my Twitter. Actually post on the Yellowcake Games Twitter, which is at Yellowcake Game, because games was taken. I'll post here, so be sure to follow here, whether or not I'm gonna stream tomorrow, and I'll also post there when I'm gonna stream next week, which should be on the same day at the same time. So that's on Thursday, 1 p.m. Central European time. In the meanwhile, thank you all for watching. Be sure to also follow me, like and subscribe on Twitter, on Twitch if you'd like to see more of my streams, and have a good one. Mark showed up late and wants to see more. Sorry, dude. I'm dead. Super tired. You can tune in tomorrow. All right. See you guys.